Boys, welcome in. Thursday night, February 19th, your Iowa State Cyclones, a 2-0 week so far. 2-0 week. Not bad. Especially when you consider who they play, the Kansas Jayhawks and the Houston Cougars. Tom Turner, as always, Nate Schuster, I'm Sean D. Welcome to another week of Offensively Offensive, boys. What's going on?
Great week for Iowa State. Dating back to Saturday, end of this week. Vibes couldn't be higher. We said it off air. Like, when was the last time vibes were this high?
Yeah, looking forward to the show. Should be, but this could be the most positive offensively offensive ever. People are saying.
Especially when you consider that the whole title of the podcast was based off the fact that we are inept offensively. So, is a name change in the books? I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably going to be due if we keep winning.
it's gonna stay offensively. All right, we've got a ton of stuff to talk about, and honestly, I really don't even know where to start. We've got Kansas, we've got Houston games, both to react to. We've got Arizona, BYU last night. We've got Iowa State taking on BYU and Provo on Saturday night. The Utah swing in full effect. We've got Houston and Arizona on Saturday. Duke and Michigan on Saturday. Like what a couple of weeks of basketball, and that's not without even mentioning probably the best game of the year, which was Kansas and Arizona from last week. Like, we are right in the thick of it, fellas. Like, this has been the most fun I have had watching college basketball in a very long time.
Agreed. I think it's probably been quite a few years since we've had 8 to 12 teams that could really win March Madness. It kind of feels like it could be one of those 2008 type years where you could see, all 4 1 seeds or any of the 2 seeds all could win the title. Especially with how power, like Big 10, Big 12, really top heavy, but really good teams at the top. Like it's fun to watch every night. I mean, we were talking before this about the Arkansas-Alabama game. Now, Jimmy Dykes did say that it may or may not have been the best game of the year, but that was a good game last night, double overtime. It's high-level basketball being played across the country.
Those are 2 4, 5 seeds right there, battling out too, scoring over 100 points, going to double overtime. Yeah. Last year, we saw all 4 1 seeds make it. And for most of the year, all 4 of those 1 seeds were the best teams. It was going to be really hard for those teams to get knocked off, especially in the tournament. This year, it's the 1s and the 2s, and you could throw in the 3 seed if Florida's there. You could maybe think of somebody else. Somehow, some way, my brain is like, hey, keep Purdue in there. I told that side of the brain to shut up for now. So, yeah, I mean, there's 8 teams, 7 teams that could win a natty this year. It's kind of crazy.
You know what's crazy is that currently, would you guys consider UConn one of those 8 teams or no?
Myself, no, but I'm a contrarian.
So yes and no. KenPom right now, they dropped all the way to 13.
Jeez. Now, Shout out Jays. Got the Ash Wednesday bump, obviously. And then Greg McDermott, he owns Dan Hurley. Like, that's just a fact at this point. Huge win. I'm starting to believe. Even though it's impossible for them to win the Big East tournament, like, they just don't do it. They've been there. They've been in the championship game 4 or 5 times since 2014, since they joined the Big East, and they haven't won it once. So like
impossible. the inverse Cyclone, like the Cyclones always win the title, and Creighton always loses it. Okay.
Yeah, because 2014 they lost, 2017 they lost, COVID year 2021 they lost. And then I want to say there's another year in there, and then last year they lost. So that would be 5. So, but hey, helped Iowa State for that 1 seed though.
Damn. Yeah. I mean, hey, there's your Jays 30 seconds. We actually haven't done that in a while because there's been nothing to talk about.
No, they stink.
Shout out Jays.
Shout out Jays.
Shout out Owen Freeman.
No. Take it back.
Oh, you don't like it?
All right. Too? Future Kansas State head coach Freeman McCaffrey might be looking to snag Owen Freeman. We'll see.
Is that rumor like actually real?
No,
I think that was for clicks and for fun.
It's definitely fun.
It is definitely fun.
It's definitely fun.
Well, didn't you guys? 2 very different things.
Didn't you guys see me from in the Slack today? I was like, boy, anyone that mentions Otts, Samson, Tommy Lloyd, Bill Self, and Jerome Tang in the same sentence. I mean, I don't have a problem with any of those guys being dropped in the
all at the top of their sport.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with that.
Tang, Elite Eight run. You got to add him to the list, man.
Hey, it's before even the odds is gone.
Yep.
So, all right, whatever. All right, let's actually
arguably he's made more money so far too with that buyout.
Oh, actually, well, you mean half or a quarter?
Yeah, he got a front on the rest of his check.
Maybe we should talk about that because it makes me so mad. They know what they're doing. The entire media knows what they're doing. Tang knows what they're doing. His lawyers know what they're doing. And I kind of feel bad. Like I don't like him. I don't think he's a bad person, but like what they are doing is so disingenuous. Like it's crazy. Like they can't afford the buyout and they're dangling this lawsuit over him. Or I'm sorry, there's no lawsuit, but there's going to be technically. They're going to try and settle for half and it is what it is. But like if I'm Tang, why wouldn't you take this thing the full distance? Like it's not like he's hurting for money.
Yeah. The ESPN commentary on it all is kind of interesting because it feels like they only know him by his record and the Elite Eight run and not what Kansas State's been for the last 3 years. And so they're talking about it from the side of like, this is horrible. And I do agree it's horrible. Like, I don't think you should short somebody 50% of their paycheck ever. Now, when you're talking $9 million versus $18 million, I think that's a different thing when it's coming from the taxpayer dollars of the state university.
Sure.
Do I think that the people of Kansas should pay for it? Probably not. Do I think the university should if they have the money? Yes, they signed the contract. They need to fulfill their end of the obligation. So that's a tough line to walk.
Yeah, for Kansas State, the money is one thing. Like they had it. Nobody liked Tang. Nobody really likes Tang right now. They were the good guys, and they somehow messed it up. Like, they had everything so easily ready for them. K-State's like a solid job.
Right.
Like they've had good coaches in the past. Like you've seen, you can like compete there. They messed it up, and it's insane. Easiest layup of all time. They bricked it.
Yeah, they pulled the Brandon Knight in the Nets game where he misses the layup to win the game.
That's really funny. Tom, that made me giggle. That was good. That was good. You're right. They played the only card where they played the only card they shouldn't have, and now everyone hates them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's not talk about Kansas State anymore. Let's talk about Kansas and Iowa State's easy win over them, 74-56 on Saturday. Iowa State makes 11 threes, and really the game was not ever in doubt. Iowa State goes on a huge run kind of in the middle part of the game. I think Dabo calls it the middle eight when it comes to football, right at the end of the second quarter and at the start of the third quarter. Iowa State just runs away with it and really was never at risk. Kansas tried to make a run there towards the end. I was thinking back to the Baylor game and starting to sweat a little bit, but ultimately it didn't end up mattering. There just wasn't enough time. Darren Peterson barely played in the second half, and story is old this time. So what did you guys think of the game?
I think you just nailed it on the head. I mean, you got first half, first 10 minutes-ish, super competitive ball. Flory looked really good. I thought Kansas looked pretty comfortable to start. They were hitting some threes. And then all of a sudden they couldn't handle our pressure and they couldn't handle the blitzing on ball screens and interchanges. And they started creating live ball turnovers, and we killed teams when they create live ball turnovers. And that was really the story of the game, in my opinion. The other big part was Peterson didn't play at all in the second half. And if they would have had him for a couple of those runs, I think the game's a little bit different. But this is the biggest win for Iowa State over Kansas since, 73? I think that's what they were saying. Do I think Peterson scores? He finishes with 10 points in the game. If he goes to 20, it's still 66-74. I don't think that really makes a difference in the game. I think it gets a little bit more interesting, and maybe there's some, fluff for the box score watchers out there. But all in all, like you said, Sean, this was a wire-to-wire Cyclone victory. You
could kind of tell from the start, it should have been 20-8, and somehow it was 6-6. Like defensively, we came out on fire. It was great to see. They were coming off the big win against Arizona at their place, and Iowa State's like, cool, you just played a hard-fought game. Guess what? You got to play it back-to-back. Like, bring it on. You love that. Council hit some early threes, but all of them were open. Good players are going to make open threes. Like, that's going to happen. And then we started to close out, and I think he missed one, and he didn't shoot anymore after that. Peterson had 10 points on 10 shots. Like, we were doing a good job of closing out well to also like stop the drives a little bit and just continue to rotate. And that's the reason it was 6-6 at the like under 12 timeout. And then from then on, Jefferson downhill, he started to turn on late. Milan in the second half, and it starts to feel like Milan threes feel like a kill or that 10-0 run, whatever that's called. Like, because Milan hitting those threes, kill shot. Milan's threes are just insane. Obviously, there was the fadeaway in the corner, but when a three goes down, it just opens up the floor more. A couple more eyeballs of the defenders are like, hey, like we gotta get on this guy more, and then all of a sudden somebody else is open.
Yeah, it felt like the ideal script for Iowa State to win a basketball game in the year 2026. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're even in rebounds, but points off turnovers, Iowa State wins 19-7. We forced 13, turned the ball over 6 times. Like, if you could tell me, like, there's no other stat that I need to be aware of, because the only way that you're going to beat us that way is if you go crazy from 3 and Kansas only made 6. And then we also happened to be hot from 3 at home and made 11. Like, if we make double-digit threes, we are going to lose 1 side of every 100 games. Like, that's the truth.
To piggyback on the Milan shooting and the kill shots, his open threes are kill shots. They really are. And that fadeaway that he had, the J.R. Smith fade in the corner where he's fading away with a hand contest, and you just knew it was going in off his hand. Like, I don't know where you guys were watching it or how you guys were watching it, but when it left his hand, like, you got to be psycho to shoot that in the first place. And if you're going to shoot it, you got to know that there's some sort of risk you're going to get pulled if you shoot a stupid shot, right? Like, just nature of basketball. He knew he was making that. Like, that's some psycho shit. So that was enjoyable. He is a joy to watch. It's gonna suck when the season's over and we don't get to watch him play anymore, because it's been a treat to watch him all year.
Going into the game, I don't remember if it was on this or the post game. I was just like, Buchanan against Flory and Tugler, like, that's awesome. Like, how about we just try to rebound, try our best? Well, we tied them in rebounding.
How about we try our best?
Yeah. Flory had a double-double. Like, I think he had 12, 13 rebounds and like 4 or 5 offensive. But we tied him overall in rebounding. Buchanan had 11 and 6. He had 9 in the first half. That was huge. He needed confidence in that first half. And that's what we had. Plata had 3 offensive rebounds. And that was the start of kind of the role player momentum you saw going into the Houston game and how those guys affected the Houston game. Plata played well against Kansas, and that went over a little bit. And then Buchanan played good, and then obviously Bateman. So he had some huge threes. The confidence was crazy. And we had 5 guys in double figures. It's just role players at the end of the day. We forced 13 turnovers. We only had 6. That goes into Houston, where we only had 3, 1 in the second half. Like, it's just huge. We had 20. I'm just looking over my notes from that game. We had 22 points off of their 13 turnovers. That's how you win. Like, when we're a team that's like somewhat streaky, I know we're playing at home. I know we got hot a little bit from 3, but when you need points, you get them in fast breaks and transition, especially when they throw it away, live ball turnover, turn that into money, turn that into points, make the game super simple.
Yeah,
and you don't have to worry about free throws when you're up by 20. Because we still only shot 53% from the line.
I'm glad you said that, because like that'll probably be a Houston topic too, right?
Yeah, we can sit on that for the moment, but I mean, I don't have a ton of notes from the game. I thought that it was complete for the most part. If you play someone even in rebounds and then create those extra possessions elsewhere, you're going to win a lot, right? This team's too good for that, too talented. I also am just not a Melvin Council guy. I'll just say that out loud. People are barking at him. I got some shit in the Slack because he's a dog and he's the eye test guy, and he's like, "Oh, your analytics don't mean." I'm like, okay, like, he played fine. He played fine against us. He was 6 for 11 for 15 points. He did not play well against us in the first game at Allen Fieldhouse. But that team without Peterson, like, what are they? Like, honestly, like, what is their ceiling without him in the tournament?
Probably because a lucky draw Sweet 16. Like that's
Right.
probably their ceiling without Peterson.
But if they play an athletic 7, 10, 6 seed, 6 or 5
Oh
seed.
yeah, you get a Big Ten 7 seed like that. That's tough for them.
Yeah, I don't. And how do you game plan for your best player just deciding to take a break and seemingly not understanding when that's going to be, right? Like, because you guys saw what happened this week where he makes the three and then he just motions to Self right away and he's like, get him out. And then Bill Self afterwards is like, I don't really know. Like at this point, I'm tired of it. I'm paraphrasing, but
it's got to be tough to beat Bill, like because I think it's pretty obvious that the agent's negotiating all of this right now. Like, it's crazy to see how different the sport's been. And
he's not getting worked on. So like people will keep saying like he's hurt, he's cramping. Like, sure, like that's fine. Flu-like symptoms, absolutely. But like also, if you have flu-like symptoms, why are you near your team in the first place? If you're that worried, like, are you trying to get everyone else sick? Like,
like when you have a flu, like you're pounding fluids, right? Like it's just nothing but like Gatorade and what is it, Pedialyte? And if you're hurt, you're on the bike, so you stay warm, so you stay loose. Like there's none of that with him. So like smells fishy, it's probably fishy. Like
Tom, you're quiet.
I really don't have anything like you guys covered it all. I think the clearest evidence of it's an agent thing or it's a Peterson not actually injured is what happened to Oklahoma State. He looked perfectly fine, nailed the 3-ball, gives a little motion, and then Bill Self, like it wasn't like he didn't notice it right away or like he was thinking about it. He saw that signal and was like, we got to get him out now. Because like I'm thinking here, if he doesn't take him out right away, maybe Peterson, throwing a fit's a bad word, but maybe Peterson makes it vocally known that he wants out of the game instead of a little signal. Something like that.
Intentionally foul.
Yeah. Which then just leads more eyeballs to the situation. But yeah, we got a super chat, shout out 499 Tom Stash. I'll put that on Iowa State national champions. I actually don't know where the money goes, but yeah, actually I do know where the money goes, but I can't touch it. So
where does it go?
Just to the account, what, YouTube or something like that. I don't know.
So you don't know where it goes, is what I'm hearing.
I know.
Sorry,
Yeah,
just to be clear, you don't. So you don't know where it goes.
I
don't know where it goes. I know where it goes. I don't know where it goes.
I know where it goes because I can call Levi or Matthias and ask where it goes. So technically, I do.
Yeah, but like if it was a test, like if you're locked in a room and they're like, you have no outside help, where do you get the money? You failed the test.
Yeah. Technically, yes. If we want to get technical about it, sure.
Okay. All right. So you don't know where it goes. All right.
Well, thanks for the money anyway. So it's off, it's gone, and it's gone.
And it's gone. Anything else from Kansas?
Good
Quad
game,
one
good crowd.
great. Let's keep moving.
Yeah.
Want to get to the main event here and talk about Houston? Where? So we'll just start with this. Where did you guys watch it? Where did you guys watch the game? Actually, Tom, don't answer that. Nate, where did you watch the game?
This seat, where I'm sitting.
Okay, so you were watching on TV. I was going fridge shopping Saturday morning. It was pouring rain here in D-Town, and was late to the game because the weather alert popped up because it was on ABC. So the one game that it's on ABC, I'm dealing with severe weather down here in DFW. Like the one game, and it's February. This shouldn't even be happening. So I'm like pulling up on my phone trying to watch the first 4 minutes before they finally switch it over. So I missed the first 4. Pulled up my phone, tried to watch it that way, whatever. It ended up working out. I'm sorry, that was for Kansas. I'm an idiot. Speaking of someone that doesn't know what's going on, that was for the Kansas game. Houston, I was here. Tom, where were you for Houston?
I was in Hilton. My brother got me a ticket for Christmas. Shout out Michael. It was very good. Environment was crazy. That was such a fun game to watch in person. It might be up there for the best. The only one that comes to mind is 2024 Kansas, but we didn't know how good that team was at the moment. That was still a really good Kansas team. Like you still didn't know about Hunter Dickinson and how bad he would be at Kansas. Bad's a strong word, but CBS was there. I got a picture with Eagle, Jay Wright, and Bill Raftery. So like all those together, it was a Saturday night. I was still in college. Like all those together probably still puts that number one. But game versus game, Houston was better. Atmosphere, insane. Old student section, everybody. Band. There was only one time I had a problem with the band. So shout out. That's progress right there. Atmosphere, game day experience was very good. Everything about it was awesome. I saw Curtis and Keyshawn were there too. It was just such a good game. Such a good game.
Keep going. What were your thoughts? You were there.
Overall, with the just the playing, Flemings is that guy. I said it in our group chat. You saw the difference from a good freshman and a lottery pick. Torrey, good freshman. Flemings, lottery pick. He was cooking Torrey every single possession. He got wherever he wanted. He got 2 feet in the lane whenever he decided to. He got a first step like it was nobody's business, whether it was Taman, Heisey, Torrey. Bateman gave him a little trouble in the second half. Something to note. But Flemings, so good down low. Houston is so physical in person and not physical where they're fouling. They were playing straight up. They were playing vertical. It's legal defense. It was great. The atmosphere understood how big of a game it was. Now, I wasn't at Kansas, and this was me watching it on TV too. Kansas, I felt like a little nervous about it. Like, I want this team to be for real. Please don't lay an egg, because otherwise we kind of have to have the conversation after the TCU loss. And, like, you get swept by Kansas. Like, don't make me have that conversation. This Houston game, you came off the win there. You're like, okay, show us you're, like, for real, where you are the dark horse to win a natty. Move up a level to natty contender. Don't be that dark horse. And they showed it a little bit throughout that game. Like, we came out hot, which is huge. You got to do that in Hilton. Houston fought back. Houston started to dominate with how they wanted to get things. Like, Sanak had 10 rebounds, 12 rebounds, and like 5 or 6 offensive. They were doing what they wanted.
Too.
Yeah.
All in the second half.
They got to the point at the end of the first half and towards the second half when they extended their lead to 10. They were doing what they wanted. Now, the thing was Iowa State was just staying with them a little bit, though. They didn't let it get to 15. They were able to fight back a little bit. And I think Fran said on the broadcast when I watched back the game, obviously the game you got to watch back because it was awesome. Fran was like 10 points, like really is like 4 or 5 in Hilton, like especially with the crowd. And then, yeah, Ola's 4-point game, Ola's 3-point game. And like it just goes to the Kansas game, like I just mentioned a little bit before. The role players had the confidence from the Kansas game that led over to this. And I think that played a factor because you saw the closing lineup. It wasn't like it has been before. There was no Torrey. There wasn't a lot of Milan towards the end. It was Bateman and it was Heisey. And I think that tells you something. And Plata had 8 points against Tugler and against Sanak. Like, that's impressive.
I want to hear your guys' thoughts on Flemings after this. Obviously just hearing Tom's, but he's the most impressive guard I've seen this year, even including Peterson. I think from at least a college standpoint, he's not going to go number 1 in the draft, but I thought the way he played against our defense was the most impressive any guards looked against us. Like, he might not be a top 5 pick, but whoever picks him at 7 is going to pick the Con Knippel of this year's draft. Like, that is a winning player right there. I don't know. Sean, what do you say?
So I saw a video on this. The way that and it wasn't even about the stuff that he was doing. It was about the stuff that he wasn't. So, like, the way that he navigated our defense, even when he had to dish it, was unbelievable. Like, he made the right pass every single time. And Tom, you're right. His first step, I have zero idea who stays in front of that.
The one when we went matchup zone in the second half. Yep. And Sanak comes over. We used to run this play in AAU. We called it 2K, where the big will screen the upper part of the 2-3. So the 2 of the 2-3, because you go 2 and 3. So Sanak comes and screens this guy right here. He hits that dunker within half of a step of clearing that. The reaction time there, not throwing words out here lightly, the only guy I've ever seen do that is playing for the Pacers right now, and we're 0. Like, that's the only guy. Like, he is that level of player. He's not the same size. He's going to have to put on, 40 pounds of muscle to play in the NBA at a legitimate level, but he was an impressive guard. I have nothing but positive things to say about him and how he played. That was high level to a T.
Every time he made, half of his shots were contested, or actually 75% of them were contested.
Earned buckets. He earned his buckets, and they were pure buckets.
Like, here's the barometer. Where if I'm sitting with my wife watching the game, who knows that I'm involved, and she looks at me and she goes, I'm really bummed that like they made that shot. And I go, honestly, you just tipped the cap. Like, if I sit there and I audibly say to the person sitting next to me, like, what do you even do there? Right? Like, if you're not sitting next to your buddies who know that, you're sitting with someone who doesn't know that, and you just go, that's a tough shot. Like, you live with that. But he made it. He went 9 of 15. He had 22 points. He was 4 of 6 from 3. He had 4 assists. He had 5 rebounds. Like, you could not have asked for any more from him. Their bench killed them. Like, their bench, Harwell and Mercy Miller, that dunk was sweet. That dunk was sick. Like, nothing else you can say about that. That was nice. That was nice. Plata got
Musburger flashbacks right there.
Yeah. Well, Plata got baptized. That's fine. He wasn't Catholic. He is now. And
he's German. He was probably Catholic before.
Yeah, Protestant maybe. I wonder if he's a big Martin Luther fan. We'll have
to have him on the pod.
Yeah. Harwell killed them because we left him open for the most part. Mercy Miller, I think we picked on him a little bit. Like, their starting backcourt's the best in the country. Like, they're 3 guards. There's not one backcourt I would take over them. And they're 2 bigs with Sinak and Tugler. Again, like, there's nothing you can say about positives. They probably have the best. They potentially have the best starting 5 in college basketball. But beyond that, with Harwell, Walker, Vlath, Sacco, like McCarty, and they know it too, right? Like,
you got 3 made baskets out of your bench. That you nailed that one.
Yeah.
I think what killed them, it was they went ISO ball at the end. I don't know if anybody else could kind of notice that. And it's like, I understand it. What Flemings was doing, like, just let him take over. Because before the Heisey 3 and after the Bateman 3, Flemings went one-on-one with Bateman, got to where he wanted, and sunk the mid-range shot. He did what he wanted to. But before and after that, there was 3-4 very similar possessions where they weren't getting a good shot, where they were taking it down to 8 in the shot clock, and they really, like, it just looked a little different. Obviously, Iowa State defense picked it up a little bit, and there was a different lineup because the ISO ball really started in the second half when they went after Milan. And Milan's a lot better defensively than he has been the past couple of years. Now they got to him a little bit, but again, like, it's still a win because guess what? They went away from their offense. They were just playing ISO ball, and it hurt them late in the game. So that was like my big
especially
thing.
Yeah.
And Sampson, like, we saw him. Everybody wanted Sampson to get a T because he was telling his team to slow down and run it. And that was both on the offense and defensive end. It wasn't just offense. But Sampson was on the court the entire game yelling at him. And so the crowd play factor, shout out the crowd. Like, that was an awesome atmosphere because it affected them offensively. Like, they started playing ISO ball, and it just didn't work out for them at the end of the game.
You were there. I didn't really notice it. Like, on the broadcast, I'm sure you watched it back. Like, I didn't really notice it a ton because you could see him talking to his players. It didn't look like he was like talking shit to refs or anything. I don't know if he said anything to them the whole night.
There was 1, maybe 2 about the refs.
Sure.
But like nothing too crazy. It was all at his players because nobody could hear anything. And when you have a true freshman point guard, stuff like that is going to happen. And when your veterans on the bench with 4 fouls with Sharp, like that is an awful recipe on the road. And it worked out great. And I think it worked great for the last possession because you had a cold Sharp, 4 of 10 from 3, like that, fine, whatever.
And
but he's cold.
He fouled out.
Coming off the bench with 4 fouls, and then he fouled out because guess what? Like, I like offensively, you're going to be cold a little bit. You can get back to where you were. But that is defensively. Like, when you play Houston or when you play Iowa State, Big 12 basketball, like, you're cold now. You're not used to the pace of the game as much. You're just sitting on the bench for 20 minutes. you make one bad step, that's your 5th foul. And that's kind of what happened with Sharp.
I mean, I thought we got really lucky with the 3-point barrage. I mean, they made from their first 26 points.
Just going to say that.
Their first 26 points, they made 6 threes. Like, they finished with 12. So, like, that to me was the difference. They cooled off a little bit. I do think the Sharp fouls helped us immensely. I don't think Uzan played his best game. I thought last year he was their best guard, and this year he looked like their 3rd best guard by a wide margin, or at least in this game. We got to touch on Heisey, though. Like,
wait, now hold on that.
His life, but we'll stop there.
Hold on that, because I want to circle back to that. So one of the things that I had kind of noted down was like a lot of things had to go right for us to win, right? Like if you go,
like Houston scoring 2 baskets in the last 4 minutes, like that, like
right. But the way that happened, right? So we were looking at some shot charts before we hopped on, and like Jefferson making that logo 3 in the first half comes to mind. Like that's not a good shot. Like that was a bailout that went in.
But
you went by 3, correct? Fleming slipping there on that last shot, like that's very, very lucky. You have the kicked ball that was just clearly the guy had Tugler caught it with his hand. The guy had a terrible angle on it. And that's super fortunate. Like someone needs to say that, because
do you want to touch on the 2 tip outs from the missed free throws that led to points as well? That goes right towards it.
Right. Like there's
or Lipsy throwing the ball behind his back on the dribble, losing it, and then some guy kicks it, and then he still gets the loose ball and we get a 3 out of it. Like that, all of these lucky bounces, like there's a lot of nuance in this game.
Houston is almost always the team that comes away with those. So I'm not saying that it like we played any worse than they did, because the shot making was very even. Like Fleming's obviously was the best player, and it was not even close. Jefferson was dishing like crazy, and he looked very, very good, but Fleming's was just on another level. But like you would think that Houston is the one that comes out with those loose balls. They get those lucky plays because they are almost always the team that's working harder, right? Like that's why they're so good. In this case, we played harder than they did. Barely. But it was enough.
Sometimes playing harder is just the way the ball bounces too. Like at the end of the day,
no doubt,
can't do anything without the ball bouncing your way, especially like perfect example is like the putback dunks. Like Buchanan, I think he had 1 or 2 putback dunks over this weekend. You jump for those, you'll jump 9 out of 10 times and you won't get them. But the one time you do, it looks fucking great. Like that's 2 points, but that's effort they have to do 10 times, maybe 100 times. You might only get that basket once. Like sometimes it's just the luck. Like
Buchanan's IQ, it's just gotten better, and that's going to happen, playing at Virginia and then coming in the Big 12. But like coming in the season,
a little push shot too.
Yeah, he came in the season with a 21% assist rate.
It's better than it was.
That push shot, he should have used the backboard. I didn't like that angle.
Yeah,
I did not like that angle for a big man. But
he was one of 2.
He had one, and it's not something it's something you scout. That is 100% what they do in practice. He had a fake handoff, wide open dunk. But that's in the game. You realize how hard they're coming off those screens, like how hard they're doubling. And that's what Houston does. They double as fast as they can off of handoffs at top of the key. And he paid attention to that. And again, it was hammered in during film or whatever. But that was just great
too.
execution.
Like you have to know that they're looking at that too. Be ready to maybe bite that off. Like, yeah, you're right.
That's just a super smart player, because it's that, and then also the help side defense. Like if Tugler there or whoever's playing the 4 spot, like then all of a sudden you're picking up your dribble with all your momentum. That's a tough ass for a 5-man. And guess what? Nobody was there, because he is so smart at times. Like, yeah, the rebounding is a problem sometimes, but he played good against Flory, and I thought he played great against Houston. So, I mean, shout out Buchanan, man.
Great point. And that play is important for another reason, which is even if that play fails, you have to keep them honest, right? Like it's like running the ball in play action, same idea, right? Like if he turns that over, makes a bad play, or has to dish out of it, like at least now Houston is thinking this guy's got a chance to turn and go the other way with it at some point.
Yeah, if you can make him question for even a tenth of a second, that's all it means. Like especially in this sport where half of a step or a misplaced foot one way is the difference between getting a 3 off or not. Like, we're going to get to that at the end of the game. Like, that's really where the sport's won and lost is inches.
So, and I think it's a good time to go to that point. And this feels like the Tom special, because usually you've got the layout of what has to go right for us to get here. So basically we go down 10 and I'm like, I'm done. I've given up hope. I'm texting my dad. I'm like, it's just not our night tonight. Like, played really well for 30 minutes. Like, I just don't think that we have it. Houston's really good, credit to them. And then things start to tilt, right? Like, you get 1-3 and then you get another, and then you get fouled, and then there's a couple things that have to go right, and all of a sudden Houston looks like they're standing around on offense, and then all of a sudden you go, how are we only down by 2? And then Taylor Heisey's brother hits the shot of the year, a no-dip 3, which we have discussed on this podcast over the last couple of years. The OGs know about how difficult that is to do. A guy that is shooting 20% from the corner, mind you, 20% on the year. Yeah. So I will. Someone else go ahead. Tom, you were there. I mean, what happened?
Just the way you said it. It was a 10-point game. The crowd wasn't out of it, but it felt like everybody was in agreement of like, we have to do like a 4-0 run this next minute. Otherwise we're cooked. Like, there's just no way you can make up that big of a difference in that short of time against Houston. And it started to happen. It was really after the fake kick ball. Bateman hit a deep 3, and all of a sudden it's like, Bateman's hitting these? Okay. Like, because Milan wasn't getting open. They were so good at shutting down Milan. And it was so good in the fact that they were doing that and not leaving somebody else open. It was great defense by Houston there. But Bateman hit that 3. Things got a little interesting. My favorite play was, I think this was before Bateman's corner 3 that gave us the first lead. Jefferson, top of the key, ISO ball against Sanak. And that was my big thing besides rebounding. Was Jefferson going to be comfortable with the length and the size of Sanak down low? And he just took him. He kept his pivot foot down and cooked him in the paint, and then got to his spot and nailed it. And then in there, I don't think it was just me. I think it was the crowd. They were like, oh boy, like, this is something right here. We got some stops. Bateman hit a corner 3, and that's Bateman legacy, like, hitting that. And as well as he played on the defensive end, like, that was great. And then Fleming's obviously got that shot. But that Fleming shot, like, it went in, and it still felt like it was tied. It still felt like we were up by 1 because of what just happened with Jefferson and Bateman. And then I just remember this play. I've watched it so many times, of Bateman getting the ball at the top of the key. He fumbles it on Sharp. Fran said Sharp almost picked up his 5th. It was close, but it wasn't a foul at all. They're not going to call that a foul. And he kind of just dribbled it off of Sharp's hand. He picks it up with 7 seconds. It goes to Taman, Jefferson. And this is the thing. Like, if you're going to win games in March Madness, your stars got to come. And Jefferson sitting in the corner. Guess what?
Pause.
Bonk. And Jefferson sitting in the corner, 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Is he just going to sit there and watch people dribble out? No. He goes to the top of the key, gets open, and guess what he does? Throws a perfect pass to Heisey's chest, and Heisey just does the rest right there. Like, that's it. Jefferson's sitting in the corner with 6 seconds left, expecting people to dribble out. Nope. And, yeah, show the shot chart, because that pass was unbelievable, and shout out Heisey, man. Unreal.
All right. So
that got me fired up.
For those not watching, on screen we have from the Go website, College Basketball Analytics. It is the shot chart for Nate Heisey on the year, and it's basically a heat map that showcases his percentages by region. So you've got above the break 3s, you've got corner 3s, you've got mid-range jumpers, you've got paint touches, and then you've got around the rim. In the corner, Nate Heisey, God bless him, he is 7 of 34 from corner 3 this year. 20.6%, which means at the time of that shot, he was 6 of 33. And that brother hit a no-dip 3 in the most pressure-packed situation of the entire year and absolutely drained it.
Good closeout too.
A lot of people on the internet are commending the pass, but I think you have to commend Heisey as well for being shot ready on the catch. Everyone talks about how Kyle Korver always did all of his work before he caught the ball. Heisey did all of his work before he caught the ball on that one. You don't get to shoot a no-dip three unless your feet aren't if your feet aren't set, or if your hands aren't ready, or if you're not thinking you're going to shoot the ball as soon as you touch it. Like, he did all of that work before, caught it. It was instant. If that shot is any slower, it gets blocked or he gets fouled. Like, and honestly, a foul in that scenario is probably worse because you don't get the crowd bump. Like, that's the shot of the year, maybe the shot of the half decade, maybe the shot of the aughts era, to be honest with you, so far. Like, I could argue that. But
oh yeah. No one is talking about this, by the way. People are saying great shot, well, unbelievable, guys, clutch. You know what? That's Heisey to a T. The guy does what's asked of him. No one has talked about how he has sucked from the corner this year. Seriously.
No, it's been. I mean, most of our guards are bad from three in general, and they have varying spots of where they're actually good. The only one I think is consistent is probably Bateman, but he doesn't shoot enough of them to get them. So, like, that's my thoughts. I mean,
right. I mean, I'm just saying it makes it even more improbable. Like, that's the goal. Like, it's not that he made it or didn't make it. The fact that he did, shooting what he has the all the way up to this point, is incredible. Like, and if a Houston fan is watching this game, you just go, I mean, you just go, damn it, because like, what else can you do?
Yeah, I mean, if there's a Houston fan watching, they probably logged off by now. But like, if there's like, think about his day. Like, dude got smacked in the face, bloodied, goes 4 for 6. The first 3 hit in the first half was pure. Like, usually you don't see Heisey hit a rhythm jumper, like left, right, bang. Like, he caught that one on the left slot wing, top of the key ish, off the offensive rebound. It was instant 3. Usually he kind of like takes a little bit more time. It was boom, 3. I don't know what was in, where his mental state was that day or whatever it was. Wow. Like, good for him. Good for him and his family. That was a great day.
11 points, 6 rebounds. He was great that game. And
2021 Pat Connaughton game right there.
That's like great comp. Great comp.
Bloody and everything too. Bloody and everything.
What's not really talked about is the possession after, the defense. Because going in, crowd's insane. Me and my brother are screaming, no threes. Let them drive. Go vertical. Like, ref this, ref that. It's got to be a clear-cut foul for them to really call it. Play vertical. What happens, happens. No threes. And what they did is Fleming's got himself open and got downhill on that drive. Now, he did slip, but guess what? He did not even attempt a free throw in that game, which tells me something. He wasn't really looking to finish at the rim. And what did we make him do? We made him go downhill right to the rim, and guess what? He slipped. And guess what? He still got the pass off to one of their guys. Yeah, that's who shot it. He airballed it. Great rebound by Buchanan. Great defense. Last possession of the game. Like, I mean, that was awesome. The crowd was so loud. I'm so happy that we were able to do that on the defensive end. And then Taman, like, where credit is due, man. I got to give it to him. Because, again, he was 0 for 3 from 3. And he
3 for 6 from the free throw line.
3 for 6 from the free throw line. He missed 2 that weren't great. But guess what? Uzan followed it with a missed front end of a 1-and-1. And
another thing that had to happen.
Yep. And at that point, I was okay because I'm like, Uzan missed that. Like, that is what it is. Like, we're kind of back, but Taman, I need to do a little something. Guess what? He did more than a little something. He did a classic Taman move. And the fact to do that against Houston, I feel bad for those guys. I don't remember who didn't do that assignment of boxing out Taman because that's not a Houston thing to do.
I thought that was a lucky bounce more than anything. Sometimes you get a bounce that goes right to the right spot.
Well, but Sinak did not body him at all.
Yeah, like he just let him go.
But he didn't go. But to me, he didn't go in on the free throw. Like,
no, yeah, he kind of goes to the side.
He just went straight. Like, the ball just had to, like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think Sinak could do anything other than like maybe try to like Odell kind of catch that one.
And to be clear, it would have been their ball with even
6
if he gets
seconds?
that back, like
5?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't.
no,
It probably doesn't matter.
Yeah, it would have been. They would have been in a Hail Mary
Yeah,
spot.
at that
crazy
point,
spot.
yeah, you're trying to find your outlet, then you have to pass it to them, and they got to go the length of the court.
Yeah,
That's
2-3
a big
dribbles.
ask.
That's 3-4 seconds. Like,
Yeah,
and get a shot off.
I mean, Tom, where does this rank? So you think that this is number one for you in terms of games attended?
game v game, I think it is number one. It's so tough. Iowa 2022 is up there. 2021, 2022, that season. That's up there. But again, like that game was a blowout. This game was awesome. Kansas is tough because also that's the last time we rushed the court in Hilton. That's like a big thing. But that's like, again, the whole experience. This Houston game, like, because it's more than just the game at the end of the day. Not only did you just beat Kansas handfully, is you followed it up with 1 day of rest, and then you play Houston. You beat them. You only turn it over 3 times against them, once in the second half.
Lowest in Iowa State history since turnovers have been tracked.
And that's pretty cool
Again,
considering we had 12 points off of their turnovers and they had 0 off of ours. Like, it's just those things. Like, we were lucky in that game, but guess what? Like, you need luck in the in-state tournament. That's kind of how, like, that happens. Like, the good teams, like, lose. The great teams with a little bit of luck is what wins. And guess what? That's what it was. We played great. You can't turn it over against Houston. Guess what? We didn't. Guess what? We had more offensive rebounds than they did, and they got 4 in 1 possession. We played so well late in that stretch. You had to play perfect basketball when we were down 10 at the under 8 media timeout, and we played 99.9% perfect basketball. I would give the 2 misses to Taman as that 0.1%. We played so well, and guess what? It was the role players. And that's, again, what you need in March. Like, this was just insane to me that it wasn't Milan going crazy from 3. Jefferson had the big pass, and he had the big jump hook off the ISO, but it wasn't him creating in the paint down low. It wasn't Taman going downhill. None of that really happened. It was Bateman, Buchanan rebounding, and Heisey. Like, that's huge for the team going into March.
I want to ask you, Tom, since you were there, because watching on TV, the crowd was insane. I think that was probably the best crowd I've ever heard on TV. And I heard some things saying that, Tama was saying that's the best crowd he's been a part of. But the 4 rebounds in a row from Sinak just made me look at, like, how big are that guys? Because they're talking as soon as on the broadcast, as soon as they talk about Sinak getting offensive rebounds, they go to the 7'5" wingspan.
Sinak is huge.
I'm looking at his hands. Okay. His hands looked 2 to 3 times bigger than the guy he was standing next to at any given point. How big was he in person?
He is ginormous in person. The same with Tugler. I think Tugler's wingspan is like 7'4". My brother next to me, I didn't know this. He noted, he's like, Sinak went to Houston because everybody called him soft. Like, everybody in the recruitment process.
Oh yeah, they said that on the broadcast too. It was like,
yeah,
he's soft. He doesn't want to be coached hard.
Yeah, and that's why he went to Houston. And he played good. And that offensive rebounds, like, credit where credit is due. He had like 4 in that possession.
Got some good bounces.
3 of them weren't on Iowa State. Like, it got to the point where they were digging into him, trying to box him out. But guess what? Like, there's a point of verticality where it's just like there's nothing you can really do. The crowd was upset, though. I swear, if there was one more offensive rebound, the place was going to burn down. But that's insane. You know how well you have to play just the game of basketball and rebounding to out-rebound Houston offensively when they got 4 in 1 possession? Like, that Buchanan, man, like, that's an X factor move. And it's just the lineups. We have so many different lineups against teams.
I have such bad news, Tom. You're gonna hate me, but we were out rebounded by them. And
totally, we were out rebounded by 4, but offensively we won 8-7, right? That CBS box score said that. No, come on. I just ran about it. What do you mean?
We not 9 to 8. We got out rebounded offensively.
No, don't say that, man.
That 1 possession.
It says,
delete 1 possession, you're fine.
8-7. That's bad. You can't see that. It says 8-7 offensively.
I've got the live stats.
I'm getting. This is not my fault. They're trying to shadow ban me.
I'm not. Listen, I'm not silencing you.
No, this
Your
just made me
point
mad
still
because I love
stands.
my rant. Oh, man.
How many total rebounds does it say that?
It says we have 31, Houston at 35.
That's what I have too.
Yeah, that's what I have.
Defensive rebounds was 26 to Houston, 23 to Iowa State.
Am I a boomer? Am I getting caught with the AI stuff on CBS? What is this?
Yeah.
I don't want to say
So-
fake news, but
I got it, man. They
regardless, I don't think your rant is still valid, so we're not going to discount that. If you look at the box score as a whole, like they made 12 threes. If we would have talked about this ahead of time, you said, hey guys, Houston makes 12 threes. I say, do we lose by 30 or 40?
and we shoot 50% from the free throw line.
50. Why stop there? How about 60? We lose 30 to 90. That's it.
Yeah, did we score 20 points?
Yeah, I don't know. They had 0 points off turnovers. How about that for a stat? 0. Levi fact check. Houston won the offensive rebounding about 9-8. Thank you, voice from above. I appreciate you. And you tweet the right amount during games. You tweet the correct amount.
It's all love. It's all love here.
So, I mean, the box score is real wonky. Like, we shot 41% from three. They shot 35%, but they chucked. They took 34 threes.
It's not my fault, man.
34 threes. They attempted 34 threes.
Out of 57 total shots. I mean, that's 60% of their shots are coming from 23 feet out. I'll take that.
Right. I mean, I don't know. All right, let's talk about we need to talk about free throws, and then we need to talk about BYU and David
And vibes. We got vibes too.
And vibes. Sorry, David, you're gonna have to wait. The free throw situation is very real. Iowa State shoots 50% from the line, 11 of 22, and it's a problem. We're 345th right now in the country. Like it's not going away. We've talked about this basically every single podcast. People, it's not going to get better. Like just dig in, because there's a very real chance that this team gets booted out of the tournament because we cannot make free throws. And Houston smartly sent Buchanan to the line as many times as they could within reason, and then played him off the floor when it mattered, right? Like but it doesn't stop there, because when Lipsy makes 50% and Jefferson shooting, I think 54% or 55 in his last 5 games from the line.
Toure too. You add Toure and it doesn't make it any better.
Like Jefferson, correct. Jefferson has to be the workhorse because he's the guy that gets fouled the most. And I can't just say it sounds so stupid of me to be like, they have to be better. Like, we know that and they know that. But the problem that I'm running into is that, like, we're done talking about this as something that's going to get better. Like, we have a large enough sample size. So if everyone on the internet wants to say, if we can just, no, there is no if we can just. Like, this is it. This is our Achilles heel. It's going to show up in the worst moments. It already has. We lost the TCU game because we couldn't shoot free throws, amongst other things. It's one of the many factors. Like, it is a very real problem and is not going away.
I had a pretty pissed off rant in a group chat during the Kansas game about the free throws, because I thought when we had the run against Kansas, I thought those free throws were going to hurt us more than the Houston game. I didn't realize we shot 50% from the line while watching the Houston game live. Looking back, it makes a lot more sense. Nick Babb wouldn't drive me home until I made 50 in a row, because we ran one suicide after practice, and I went 0 for 2 the night before in a real game. Like, that's a real thing that happened. Like, and that was player initiated. I don't know what needs to happen, but like, you got to know internally when you look at the box score, because all 8 players that played and all the guys who didn't play are looking at the box score. What can I do to get on the court? What can I do to get better? Where can we get better? If you're looking at 2 for 7, 3 for 6, 1 or 2 from the free throw line consistently night after night, you got to think that's an easy way for me. If I'm Taman, I'm trying to play myself in an NBA roster right now. Like, you're a senior. This is your last run at Iowa State. Now, Sean, I'm with you. Like, whether or not the NBA is going to happen is a different thing, but you're not going to make it for sure if you can't make free throws. Like, That's my thoughts if I'm a player. It's probably not going to get better. It will hurt us long term, and it's brutal. Like, that's going to really suck when we go 4 of 13 against a 4 seed, and that's where we lose when we should blow them out of the water.
Not to jump my own gun here, Nate, but Audie Crooks right now this year's a 72% free throw shooter.
Our team is shooting 66%. Giannis Antetokounmpo shoots higher than that.
Correct. Audie's
That's
not been
team.
under 75% the last 5 games. So men's team's got to figure it out.
It's the same length.
Yep.
So in the last 5, our free throw percentage, I'm back on the college basketball analytics site. So we're shooting 57% from the line our last 5. Guys, that is in the first percentile of the entire country. Like 1. There's a 1 next to the last 5 here.
I think we could get the entire state of Iowa to probably shoot about 57% from the free throw line. If we lined everybody up at the state fair and said, everybody shoot a free throw, I think we could get about a 57% spread. That's a fucking joke. I'm sorry for cussing. That's a fucking joke.
I'd like to see that, actually. That'd be funny.
I genuinely think you would average out to about 57%.
I think you
because you'd get a couple of high school basketball players like, yeah, I can make it. You'd get a couple of chicks like, I never touched basketball before, and they make it. And they're like, oh my god, like that's what would happen.
Is that what it sounds like? Have you talked to a woman before?
That's how every woman talks.
Oh man, there we go. Clip it, Aiden.
Okay.
Clip it. I noticed it because I had a direct eyesight to Taman shooting in the second half. He has a hitch in his free throw. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. I don't know if people don't think it's a big deal. It's a hitch, and it's an ugly one. It's an ugly one when you're looking straight onto it. It's not great. It's not in his regular shooting form, so I don't really know what's going on there. But that's all I got to say. You guys covered it greatly with the free throws. It's a problem. Houston, it's a big problem.
The hitch is there. It's just less. It's harder to tell because the motion is smoother when you're shooting a 3. I think it's just different, right? You usually don't have as much time as you do at the line to kind of think about what you're doing. Like it's just the motion is going to be slightly different, but it's still there. And Nate's gesturing to his head, right? Like agreed. When you're at the free throw line, you are by yourself. It is you in the basket. They're free, right? So I agree. There's a sense of mental, or there's a headspace to it. Otts even said so earlier in the year, and we talked about it, about how he's like, yeah, we need to just force turnovers and step to the line with confidence, and that's all that I'm going to worry about, which is just code for, yeah, we're not doing a good enough job, and guys need to step to the line thinking that it's going to go in instead of thinking, I am not confident that this is going to go in. Like that, but that to me is more of a Buchanan thing than anything. Like Lipsy, I don't understand why it doesn't happen. Jefferson, same thing. Like usually that's something that you say to a guy that you know is not a good free throw shooter. Like we have seen Jefferson be okay, and Lipsy is who he is.
Centers get a pass. Like you get a pass, to an extent. Yeah. Like you can't be DeAndre Jordan from the free throw line where you're shooting 33%. But if you're shooting 60 to 70, I think that's fine from a center. You can't be shooting 50 to 60% be a guard.
No.
In the modern game.
I mean,
you can, but it's not gonna go well. Like,
well, he won't stay on the floor. Like he's played off, right?
Yeah,
like that's the problem.
Let's look at Dom Nelson's minutes over the last 10 games.
Why is it Dom Nelson playing?
I don't know if that's why, but that's one of the reasons.
I think that's a huge reason why. I think if the one thing you do is get to the basket and get fouled and you can't convert, and I'm looking at Bateman that can convert and make threes, that's where the minutes went.
If that's your primary way of scoring is getting to the basket and you're drawing those fouls and you're not converting, I mean that's kind of a big issue.
What's the point? Like really, like what's the point of playing you if you're not going to convert them?
I get that there's some intrinsic value to getting the other team in foul trouble, but if you're not making them pay for it by scoring points, you're not living up to that potential.
You're not. Neither of you are wrong. It's a good example, but it's not, because if you just look at the other end of the floor, like that's why he's not playing.
Yeah, no, there's 15 other reasons why he's not playing, but one of the big ones is that. Like, but yeah, I don't know if you guys want to touch on vibes. I think we just lost Tom for a moment.
I think he just had to step off for a second. I mean, from a vibes perspective, I think we've covered it for the most part. I don't know, like pre West Virginia last year, we were talking about that being the kind of the peak. So I don't know if this greatly exceeds that, right? Like that was all hype, and as Nate, you even said so yourself, it was January last year. Like this is the latest of the year that it feels like we've peaked under odds. Like, and I get it. We won the Big 12 tournament, and you might say you can consider that the peak. I'm not going to argue with you. I just think that the consistency of what we've done so far is kind of normalizing a little bit, especially if we beat BYU in Utah. Like the hype train will be off the tracks at that point.
Well, yeah, it's happening at the right time.
Considering the start of 23-3 and where we're at and the road ahead of us, like especially knowing that Michigan and Duke play each other. We have an Arizona-Houston game on Saturday. We get BYU. Like, that's a chance to move up the seed lines. Whether or not it actually does happen is a different conversation. I think that's something we can touch on here. But let's just say Michigan does what they did in November and they blow the brakes off of Duke. Does that drop Duke a line? I think it puts them in the conversation at least. And I think we've put ourselves in a conversation as a team from me and maybe kind of in a 2-3 conversation. And I think we're pretty solid in the 1-2 line. I don't know if you guys agree or disagree with me there, but I think prior to the Kansas game on Saturday, kind of in a 2, like if you lose to Kansas, you're probably a 3.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, I think, especially with the Kansas brand in the modern day of the committee, the Kansas brand gets a 2. You 100%. Beat Houston now. Now you have the tiebreak. You only play Houston once. So, and the conference tournament does not mean as much as it used to. I hate to say it, but it doesn't. Like, if you can get, maybe Houston loses against Arizona, that means you have the game in hand, and then you go down and beat Arizona. Now you're talking regular season Big 12. Now you're talking 1 seed, or even maybe the second Big 12 1 seed, because we see UConn dropped all the way to 13th today, right? Maybe Duke loses to Michigan. Now Duke's got 3 losses, and they play in a weak ACC. We have 3 losses, and we're playing the Big 12. And we have a win at Mackey. And Purdue's probably getting a 2 seed with Big 10 bias. Whether they keep winning or keep losing or not. Like, they're a 2-3. Kansas a 2-3. Nebraska's a 2-3. Like, they're all fighting in there. We're in the 1-2. I'd rather be in the top 6 than the top 12. Yeah. I think we've done a great job doing that. Like, I think we've put ourselves in a spot to really control our destiny. That's unique at this point in the year.
Yeah, I think you win out. You're certainly in the conversation for one of those top 4 seeds. I do. How much do you think that the injuries to BYU and Texas Tech affect that if you do win out? I mean, are you still
100%?
In the conversation?
Our schedule got way easier.
Yeah.
I mean, Sean, Tom, what do you guys think? Like, not that you play who's on the schedule. I'm not happy that they got hurt, but it makes the games easier.
I will tell you, I don't know if that matters like at all. It's easier for us, but if we win out, we're a 1 seed. Like,
yeah.
If you went out, you're a 1 seed. My AirPods are acting funky, so let's see how long I last on here. But with BYU and Tech, the injuries, and there's a scenario down the road with 2 potential 1 seeds with the Big 12. I'm a Big 12 tournament guy. Very biased, currently living in Kansas City. There is a scenario with Iowa State, Arizona, and Houston. 2 of those 3 teams playing in the championship. That game deciding if there's 2 Big 12 1 seeds. There is and whether or not that happens, that game will decide a 1 seed no matter what. So just imagine down the road if it could be a true possibility. This isn't that far-fetched with how the schedules are lining up. Iowa State in a Big 12 championship game in Kansas City, you win, you're a 1 seed. You win, you're a 1 seed not out west is another point as well. Just something like that. Like you mentioned, the BYU, I don't think they dropped too much with Saunders out. I think they still get a lot of respect. Tech is a lot. Tech, Toppin's their best player. Toppin's a first-team All-American. He was top 3, top 2 for best player in the Big 12. That hurts. You got to make that up somehow. Neutral site games in the Big 12 tournament aren't too bad, especially with all the quad 1 opportunities. And I still think it matters a lot. Not as much as it has. I think 2024 gives a bad rap for the Big 12 tournament. I don't think it's a good representation to how to determine the Big 12 tournament and how it plays into the seeding, but the schedule.
Remind people what happened then.
Yeah, so we blew out Houston by 29. It was like 69-41. We were a 2 seed going in. We blow out, which I believe they were the 3rd overall 1 seed.
We were the last 2 seed.
Yeah, we were the last 2 seed to
UConn
get
year.
in. That was the UConn year.
Yep.
Purdue and UConn were clear-cut number 1s. Houston was the 3rd number 1. Going into that game, we were a 2 seed, the last 2 seed going in. Seeding didn't change how we won. And really the only beef I have with that was Marquette. They were the 7th overall seed. We were the 8th. I think we should have been ahead of Marquette. That was the Kolek, Cam Jones year. They were good. We were better.
Was that when Iowa was in their bracket, though?
No, that was no.
Was Iowa in the Marquette bracket that year?
They missed the tournament this year. But Marquette was the only team that we really should have passed. The 6th overall seed was Arizona. We shouldn't have passed them. They were better than us. They had better statistics. That's fine. Tennessee was the 5th overall seed with Dalton Connect. Way better than us. That's fine. So really the only beef I had was Marquette. That was weird. But again, that was just one team. So it's just bad representation, and it goes towards the rest of the Big 12 tournament, which I hate because like you get 4 days off going into the tournament, and if that really hurts you that bad, you're not that good of a team. If you that's where I come down to it. But yeah, the schedule. There's a lot of opportunities with how little games there's left. There's a lot of opportunities to prove yourself. And I asked the Discord questions for us, and one of them was from Brian, why this team is kind of getting the dark horse national championship vibes from the national media. Like they're still getting respect, but they keep on labeling Iowa State as a dark horse. And why is that? Is it simply as don't lose the games to TCU and Cincinnati?
I think it probably is.
Yeah.
A little bit of that, a little bit of national brand recognition. I mean, you hear on ESPN all the time, they call us the Iowa State Hawkeyes. Like, that fucking shit's annoying. Like, you get at some point, we're going to have to earn the right to earn the right. I think Otts has put this program in a place where we can earn that right to have the respect. And like we talked about before, once we earn the right, we better get that right. We better get the respect because this team is worthy of it. Like, this is a team that if they had a Duke label on them, if they had a North Carolina label on them or a Kansas label, they'd be an easy 1 seed every day, 8 days a week. Like, but there's an Iowa State label on it. So we got to go fight for it. We don't have the brand recognition.
I side on the brand recognition. I understand that we lost a few. I think the one thing that's really not going for us is that our strength of schedule, if you're just looking at net rating on KenPom, is considerably worse than pretty much everyone that's in front of us. Like it's hurting quite a bit. Like if you go down the line, like I'll start Michigan's at 7th, Duke is 19, Arizona's 25, Illinois is 12, Houston is 42, Florida's 5, and we are 59th. So like that's not in our favor. And so I agree with you, Nate, because again, Duke is playing in an ACC that's so watered down this year. I think Virginia is good, by the way, but you have Duke and Virginia, and then UNC without Caleb Wilson, I guess. It's not helpful for us. And we have had the mantra of manipulating the net. Like we've said it sarcastically for the last couple of years that every time we win big, it's because we're manipulating the net because of how we started out the Otts era playing absolutely no one in the non-conference. Like if we're talking about
that we had no control over,
as you have said before, right? Like, but if that is the perception, like part of that is reality. But the numbers say that it's not good, so it's not good. All right, we really have to talk about BYU real fast and then give David his time of day. All right, so BYU at 9:30, no Richie Saunders out with the torn ACL. I hate to see that. BYU loses to Arizona last night, a close one. DeBonsa played well. Not exactly the most efficient day for him. I think he had 30 points on 28 shots or something like that. They are going to really struggle on the depth side of things. Rob Wright is unreal too. I think he has not been talked about enough. I think he's like a 45% 3-point shooter. Like it's a volume guy too. Like if Milan wasn't doing what he's been doing, you'd be like, oh shit, like Rob Wright, like that's the next guy. They are going to give us problems because Devonsa
49% for Rob Wright, by the way.
Unbelievable. Yeah. And Devonsa is unguardable. Like there's not a single player in college basketball that can give him fits when he gets to his spot. And I have a question for Nate here. He loves the half post up in the mid range to get to the elbow in the free throw line and to pull. No one's blocking that. So my question for you is, so our question with our defense is we like to no middle, we push to the sidelines, and then we double. You cannot double him in the middle of the floor. That is the one thing that I am most worried about in this game. If they get him to his spot, we do not have a counter for that. I
think the easy adjustment would be you just shift your defensive alignment completely. Like the good example of it would be how Eric Bledsoe used to guard James Harden when he was in Houston. They would guard him completely on the right hand of his body, and they would just force him to go left because if James Harden's going left, he can't step back going right. Like that was what James Harden was trying to get to. Now, if Debansa's trying to get to that elbow jump shot, just guard him completely to stop the elbow. Let him go straight because there's help side there. Let him go to the corner because the help side's already designed to be there anyways. So if he's on, let's just call it the right wing, and you make him take one dribble right and make him take a contested 2-point, 15-foot corner jump shot, I think that plays to exactly what we want. I think he would be, being a freshman, I don't think he would know that it's a bad shot necessarily, unless he's listening to this podcast right now, which hopefully he's not, but no way he is. But that's what I would do if it was me, and how the scheme is already. You could probably throw, I don't really know if you want Milan on Debansa just with how different their foot speed is and how different their stride length is, but that's just my thoughts.
It's fouling for me. Don't foul because defensively we're going to get them tired. They already didn't have a deep bench before Saunders got hurt. It's even thinner now. They don't have a lot coming off the bench offensively. And then just don't pick up stupid fouls like Milan. Like if you get too early, that's brutal for our offense on the road. Debansa loves the pull-up jumpers. He jumps somewhat high when he shoots them, which leaves that elbow just hanging right there for you to hit, and he goes to the free throw line. Like that is a big thing you got to watch. Do not, just no stupid fouls. They're going to get tired if you play with the same intense defense that you had the past couple games. That doesn't just mean Houston and Kansas. Like we were pretty good defensively with the intensity and with TCU, I would say. You just got to come out strong. And I'm not going to say BYU is going to fold, but the mindset isn't great in Provo right now. And Rob Wright, he's been playing great. He played good against Arizona. He played in Ames last year. He had 2 turnovers. He shot 4 of 17 from the field and 1 of 6 from 3. That's only a 1-game sample size. But I think his height and kind of the way he plays basketball isn't exactly a great way to play winning basketball against Iowa State. And I think that 1-game sample size proves it a little bit. Now it's only 1 game. Torrey, this is a big test for you. Fleming's got whatever he wanted against you. I think you saw that in tape. I think this is a big game. Fleming's got whatever he wanted. We saw that on tape. You can practice that. I don't think AJ and Rob Wright make it look that easy. I feel really good about that. I feel really good that we played on Monday and we had the rest of the week off and they had to play on Wednesday. That is little underrated in my point of view.
Wednesday in a road game against the top 5 team.
Yeah. BYU to Arizona, whatever, not a big travel. It's still travel at the end of the day. You're still not getting back to campus till probably Thursday morning. There's a lot of spots here. I know people are going to be scared of the spot and AJ and how we played against BYU in the past. But again, it's another test for this team. You want to get rid of the dark horse label. It's a game like this.
Sean, because my issue, remember we talked the Purdue game. and we said that Milan versus Fletcher Lawyer, whoever the 3 is guarding Milan, is going to be the mismatch. I think the mismatch for BYU is exactly the opposite. I think AJ is the mismatch this game. I think their 3 is better than our 3. Offense, defense. Who guards him? Like, who is the matchup for Debinsa? Because I don't think it's Milan. I really don't.
Yeah, I think it's probably Jefferson. And you just say, hope the size bothers him. But the problem is that there's not an easy.
But like that guy, like I don't want Jefferson in foul trouble.
I don't know because
that's tough. That's tough.
I don't have an answer. And if someone does, please. But I don't.
I don't know that there is an answer.
I guess that's why you're probably gonna be the number 1 overall pick, right? Like it's you were Peterson, so that's why they're that high. But
I'm very interested to see how we guard him. Like I'm so excited for that because I just want to see what the coaching staff comes up with.
He's unique. He's unique in a way that you can't really describe in words. He's just kind of got some Inspector Gadget in him where he's just one place and all of a sudden he's the next. Like,
yeah.
This is a game that if you win, you're firmly in control. Like this is a must win if you're a 1.
It's a big Saturday. It's a huge Saturday. I know there's time off from the Arizona and Houston game to our game, but Arizona wins, we win, we control our destiny. Like, when has that been said in Iowa State terms for basketball?
Regular season.
Not since 2000 or 2001.
Yeah. You control your own destiny. And then you get to Arizona, and it's like, guess what? Like, defensively, we're a pretty good matchup against them. But I don't want to get there. I want to get there.
What do you guys what do you think? So Ken Palm says we are 2-point favorites.
I think we cover. I think if Saunders was playing, it's a completely different story. But
we don't win that game.
Yeah, AJ shooting. I'm just looking basic box score watching 41 shots out of Rob Wright and AJ Debinsa against Arizona out of 58 total looks. So 17 shots came from not those 2. If they're not hitting, it might be 30. It might be a 30-point blowout for Iowa State. If they are hitting, now we're talking. But AJ's going to need to play unreal. Wright's going to have to play probably 17 to 23 points, and then it's a conversation, I think.
What I'm looking at is rest and how well we played in the trenches in the last 8 minutes against Houston. That is telling me we're going to win. That I think rest is a big deal, especially playing Houston. And then just the way the team buckled down towards the end, it was the role players. Like role players with confidence going on to the road. That's pretty sick.
It's a good spot to be in.
Yeah.
I think, TJ always talks about like the tougher team wins. And when you have those role players playing that tough basketball, I mean, I wasn't here. I assume you guys talked quite a bit about Nate Heisey, but I mean, that's an unreal shot to hit that in that spot against that team as that guy. I mean, that's a huge spot. And I'm so happy for him and his sister, obviously in the Olympics, but I mean, I love our depth coming off the bench. I think that's going to be the big thing in this one. I think Iowa State wins.
I like it. We haven't talked about this enough, but if we can force turnovers, I like our chances, right? Well, live ball turnovers might be the key here. I'm going to do the same thing that I was just ragging on people for doing. It's like, can we shoot slightly better than 55% from the line? Like, I don't know. Probably not, but it's like, I'm talking myself back in. No, if we can force live ball turnovers, I like our chances. I don't like an underrated thing is how we guard or how we rebound against Kobakita. I think that's going to be, he's an absolute beast down low, and that's a big game for Buchanan.
I'm going to be in Charlotte, and it's going to be 10:30 p.m. that time when that game tips. It's going to be sick. I'm pumped. That's not sarcasm. I am pumped.
I'm just hoping we don't get any K to put back dunks like he had against Arizona for 2 of his 4 points.
Tom, what is that? Tom, is that like what time do you get done working and what time?
So Saturday is just like a travel day. So like we have a whole day off, just travel. But I do have to work at 8 a.m. the next day. and work is like 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. the entire week for the work trip. So you just got a lot, but it's Eastern time. So I love it because college basketball is going to work out. I get to catch this game. The Utah game on Tuesday, I'll miss like 5 minutes of. So I'm fine with it. It worked out perfectly with our schedule and Iowa State's basketball schedule. I can't complain.
Is it a hotel room special, or are you going to try and go somewhere to watch it?
Hotel room special, I think.
That means
Room
that means
service?
2 to 3 beers is what that sounds like.
Big baller Tom?
Brewskis, room service, getting a noise complaint in the second half.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome. All right, well, we'll see what happens. David,
Yeah.
sorry it's so late. We've had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I texted Tom. He asked if I was going to be here, and I said, "Yeah, I've got 6 notes, and normally I don't have any, so I'll try to condense them a little bit here."
The floor is yours.
Big thing, Addy Brown back. I don't think the most complimentary person of Addy Brown could possibly state how important she is to this team. It's not just her impact on the floor. I mean, she came back. I was expecting 12 minutes max. I thought if she could give us 3 minutes a quarter, that would be great. I saw her in the starting lineup before the game started, and I was astonished that she was starting. It sounds like she's going to be on a 20-minute cap for at least the next couple of games. Trying to work her back to a full schedule. But, I mean, even then, 6 points, 7 boards, 6 assists, 1 turnover. I mean, that is huge for this team. And the way that she can space the floor, I mean, she gives you another shooter from deep. She gives you another person that can take post touches away from Audie Crooks, so it's not just her on the low block. It gives you another ball handler, so it's not just Jada Williams going up and down the floor. It's a lot. So I love that she's back, and it'll be a lot of fun moving forward.
So where do they sit currently in terms of projected seating?
So they were an 8 coming into this. I would say they're closer to a 7 than they are to a 9. And I think with Addy Brown back, that's actually one of my notes is, will the committee care that Addy Brown's back? I don't know how much they will. I'd like to think they will, because this team is 15-1 when Addy Brown plays, and the one loss is a 2-point loss to Baylor. But I don't know how much the committee cares about. I mean, maybe if this was, if you were still battling for a home bid, a top 4 seed, you'd probably see the committee care a little more than they will for a team that's kind of found itself on the bubble again. I'd like to think they care. I don't know how much they will for a team that's probably going to end up. I think you can peak at a 6 seed if you win out and you do a little damage in Kansas City. I don't know that that'll be the case. I think you'll probably end up as a 7. And you're going to end up facing one of those 2 seeds again in the second round, a host second seed team. But I think Addy Brown gives this team a whole nother level, and I think we saw it. I mean, that's a good Arizona State team. That's a first year coach, Molly Miller from Grand Canyon. She's got that team on the bubble. Outside looking in right now, I think they're better than outside looking in. But even still, I mean, she took that team. They won 3 conference games last year. And I thought they had more talent last year than this year. And she's got them, right around 500 in the Big 12, 21-7 overall, went undefeated in the non-con. So I think that's a better win than I think a lot of people will say it is. But yeah, just getting Addy Brown back is monstrous.
What was your issue with the calls at the end of the game?
So that was going to be my rant. I still don't know, guys. I don't know what a foul is in women's basketball. I genuinely don't. It's not just an Audie Crooks thing. It's not just a post player thing. I have no idea what a foul is. The Kansas State game, 10-minute quarters. At 12 minutes into that game, there were 22 fouls called. 22 fouls in 12 minutes. There were 47 total in that game.
How many players fouled out?
Nobody. Everybody was at 4. That's
the stupidest shit I've ever heard.
Guys, I don't know what a foul is in women's basketball. I have absolutely no idea. Not a clue. I don't know if you get run over. I don't know if it's a block or a charge. Nobody does. I don't know if you're going to call a touch foul when Jada Williams is driving to the basket. I have no clue. I have not a clue what a foul is in women's basketball. And frankly, I don't know that the refs do either. I have absolutely not a clue. Not a clue. I watch officials call 22 fouls in 12 minutes, and then they called 25 the rest of the 28 minutes. I don't know what a foul is, and I don't know how players do it. I don't know how they deal with it, because you can't, in my brain, you cannot adjust on the fly to how an official is then going to adjust how they make calls. You just can't. If you go in there with a game plan and you're playing aggressive and they start calling fouls, you're like, hey, we'll tone it back a little bit. And then they still call fouls when you like. I have no idea. I'm so sick of the flow of women's basketball. This isn't just an Iowa State thing, by the way. You watch any women's basketball game, the flow of the game, they'll pick a quarter at random. They'll just pick the third quarter, and they'll just be like, we're just going to stop the flow of the game entirely. We're going to shoot 20 free throws this quarter combined between the two teams. It's just ridiculous. I have no idea what a foul is in women's basketball. Absolutely not a clue.
You nailed it. Like, that's my biggest pet peeve with games too. Like, if it's so physical in the first half and the refs like in their own little locker room, like we got to call some calls here at the start. We got to settle it down. That's your fault. Like, you have to set the tone to games. That doesn't mean 10 fouls in the first 10 seconds, but that means like consistent calls. You're not consistent when one half is one thing and the second half is another.
Correct.
Yeah, you got to call the train wreck.
Yeah.
And the wrist slap.
Correct.
You can't call not the wrist slap and then the train wreck, or not the train wreck and the wrist slap. Like, that's what it feels like a lot of officiating is coming to nowadays.
I'm probably super just stubborn on this. I'm sure it's not as bad as I'm saying it is, but I have 45 fouls in a game is ridiculous. That is absurd. The team that gets called for the most fouls is Mississippi Valley State. They get called for 23 a game. They're the only team over 22 a game. And there were 47.
So two of them doesn't even get you to.
Two of them doesn't even get you to 47.
Was the game that? Was it that physical? Like, did you watch and you're like, oh, it's a physical game?
No. Well, so I missed the first quarter. Nothing. I missed the first quarter, thankfully. I don't know how I would have made it through that. But I turned the game on to start the second quarter, and there was like 3 fouls immediately in the second quarter. And I was like, oh boy, here we go again. And I pulled out my phone and I was like, oh, Kansas State's been called for 12 fouls and Iowa State's been called for 10. And we're 2 minutes into the second quarter. This is going to be hell. So I don't know. I don't think the women's game is that physical, or at least not to the point of 47 fouls being called. I don't think that specific game was that physical to justify that. And I get that it's like a rivalry and you set the tone and like, don't let it get out of control. But like, come on, we're here to watch basketball, guys. Like, I get you got to call the fouls if they're there, but you can't adjust how you're calling said fouls throughout the course of the game. And I think it's particularly that bad in the women's game.
It's a good rant.
Thank you. I did also want to include in my, sorry, not to backtrack to Addy Brown. Arizona State was the 19th best defense, and Iowa State without Addy Brown was at a 110 offensive efficiency rating. Addy Brown back at 20 minutes, their offensive efficiency rating was a 139. It was the 4th highest of the season. So I'm very glad she's back.
God,
yeah, safe to say it matters.
It does. And again,
X factor.
Again, it doesn't. She scored 6 points. Like that. I mean, she had a better game stats wise than I was expecting. But Audie Crooks looked like Audie Crooks again. I mean, she 28 points on 11 and 19 shooting. I mean, that's the first game in a while that she's looked like Audie Crooks. And it's because you get that floor spaced. Jada Williams again, 26 points on 9 of 16 shooting. It wasn't just her, ball handling. It wasn't just her bringing the ball up and down the floor all the time. It wasn't just the ball in her hands 95% of the time like it has been without Addy Brown. So I think you get a whole nother dimension when she's back. And I'm excited for the rest of the year. Evangelia Polk, who had played some really good minutes in Addy Brown's absence, is going to be out for a while. She was out with an elbow injury. She's the transfer from Wofford. She'll be out for a little bit here. She had an MRI yesterday, so should get some news towards the end of the week here, but it sounded like she was going to be out for a while. She was in a sling last night. So That is a big loss because I love her defense and rebounding on that side of the ball. But good timing to get Addy Brown back because that's kind of your replacement there. So
Three games left on the schedule: at TCU, Oklahoma State at home, and then at Kansas State. What's the likelihood of 3-0 versus 2-1 or 1-2?
I think you're most likely looking at 2-1 with the one being at TCU. I think that'll be a really fun game with Addy Brown back. Olivia Miles from she was the Notre Dame player. She transferred to TCU. She's been very good this year for TCU. I think they're a really good team. They did recently lose. They got smoked by Baylor recently, which that's kind of been an up and down thing in the Big 12 has been the parity of everything. So maybe you can pull off an upset. I think you certainly can with Addy Brown back. I think she gives you a lot better of a chance than when she's not there. But I think you're still looking at an uphill battle with that one. Or excuse me, they blew out Baylor. They didn't get blown out by Baylor. But yeah, that's gonna be a tough test. That's you like these benchmark games kind of headed into March, and I think this is kind of a hey, are you actually back? Are you actually the team we think you are now? And I think that'll be a good test for them.
Good. What else would you add before we get out of here?
I'd say that Oklahoma State game is going to be huge because I think you'll probably lose at TCU. I think if Addy Brown was 100%, you'd have a lot better chance in that game. I think you're going to end up losing that game at TCU. So that home game after that against Oklahoma State, that's a team that beat you by 30 down in Stillwater, and that's one that you got to get back, one that you have to get back.
Okay. Well, we'll be watching.
100%.
Bill Fennelly, legacy year. Can he coach them out into the second weekend? I don't know. Sounds like that might be a long shot with seeding. Do you like their chances if they have to play against a 2? Say they're on the 7-10 line?
I'd have to look and see who the 2s are at the moment.
Now that Addy's back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously having Addy back gives you, I think Addy being back gives you a chance against just about anybody that's not UConn, South Carolina. I mean, I still think you're maybe 30% or lower to win a game against a 2. The problem with facing a 2 is that it's going to be on the road. That's just going to be a true road game. And if it was a neutral site game, you're definitely a lot better. But I think the difficulty with that is the fact that it's just a true road game.
Can you go 2-1 and then win like 2 games in the tournament and get out of the? Can you get to a 6? I mean, is that in play?
It's really hard to tell. Because I mean Notre Dame's up to a 7 now. I think we're pretty in line with Notre Dame, and Hannah Hidalgo, but it'll be really tough. I think maybe you might have to win the Big 12 to get up to a 6. But again, we've kind of seen the Big 12 tournament not matter as much in the women's tournament. I don't know how much it matters in the men's tournament either.
It sure doesn't matter.
That's kind of my biggest problem. And again, could it be to a point where Iowa State wins the Big 12 tournament in women's basketball and then the committee suddenly says, oh, hey, Addy Brown's back. This team went, what, you'd be looking at 22-2 or something with Addy Brown. Maybe you start to get more attention, but I think you'd probably have to win out and win in Kansas City to get up to a 6.
So outside looking in. Okay.
Correct.
All right. Goodness gracious. We have been going for over an hour and a half, easily the longest podcast of the year. Go ahead.
Vibes are still immaculate.
So vibes are still immaculate.
Vibes are still immaculate.
Fantastic.
I mean, from where they were to now, I mean, good God.
Yeah.
So, all right. We've got the men taking out BYU at 9:30 Saturday night. That's in Provo. The ladies come down to me to DFW to play against TCU on Sunday at 3. That game's on ESPN. And from there, we'll see what happens. But, Man, Thursday night, February 19th, we're talking about the Clones potentially taking home a share of the Big 12. So awesome one today, guys. Thanks as always for joining. My name is Sean D. Tom Turner, Nate Schuster,